Well, hello, crafting lovelies. I am the Rocky Mountain Crafter, and I'm so thankful that you are here. Today, I am using a selection of Catherine Pooler products, Evergreen Woods stamps and dies, Wild About You stamps and dies, and Winter Blessing sentiments. And I'm pulling some ink colors with an olive and On the Lake. And to go with an olive, I'm choosing Sage and Spruce. And to go with On the Lake, I'm choosing Stone Blue and Cove Blue. I'm taking an 8.5 by 11 piece of white Catherine Pooler cardstock and putting that into my We Are Memory Keepers trimmer and just trimming down the panels to be your standard card size, 4.25 by 5.5. And with my precision press stamping platform, I'm just setting that up, getting my cardstock in there and using the magnets to hold that down, and getting the trees from the Evergreen Woods stamp set. And I'm just lining that up in there and putting it onto the plate. And with Sage ink, I am inking up those trees. And I don't get it right the first time, and that's why I love this precision press. I can re-ink in the exact same spot over and over. So that is exactly what I'm doing, just inking it up a couple more times until I'm happy with how the ink looks. And I have two other plates. So what I like to do is set up my 3-step stamps. That's what this Evergreen Wood stamps and dies is, a 3-step stamping process. And I like to set up my plates, and then I can do multiple cards over and over again because my plates are set up with the stamps already. Now I've got the Martini ink, which is very yellow-green, and I'm doing the second layer of that stamp. And for the third layer, I am using With an Olive, which is a brand new ink color by Catherine Pooler. And it ties into those greens and yellow greens beautifully, but gives those trees a little bit of a pop. And my stamp was really sticking to the paper because it's not a brand new stamp, it just was sticking. So I like to condition it with my skin. So there I'm adding that With an Olive. Oh, these trees are turning out so gorgeous. I'm going to do a masking technique to ink blend the background behind the trees. So I've grabbed some Gina K masking magic and the die that coordinates with those trees. And I've cut that out of the Gina K masking magic. And I'm just placing the masking magic over top of those trees. And trust me, it took me a few times. I edited out all the times that it took me to get the mask perfectly over the trees, and even then it wasn't perfect. You'll see. Now I am blending the On the Lake off my brush. I've put some on there, but I didn't want it so harsh, so I'm just blending some on. And you can see it's going on quite harsh in spots on the cardstock as well. However, Catherine Pooler's inks have a smoothing agent in them, so where it's showing up harsh now, it will not be harsh later, because it will smooth out and blend out once it dries. Now I'm going in with Cove Blue, and I'm just going around the edges and trying to focus on just right above the trees and around the edges of the card. I still want some of that On the Lake to show through in the middle of that background. Now I'm taking a water pen brush, it's refillable and reusable, and I'm just going to splot some water on there because Catherine Pooler inks are water reactive, so it will look like snow. Now I've got my Wink of Stella brush in white, and it's a beautiful sparkle, but you know what? It's almost empty, you guys. So I had to really squish it out onto an acrylic block and add some water to get a little bit of liquid out of it. But you know what? It was so worth it because it adds such a beautiful sparkle in the end. And I didn't want to waste any because it's the end of it. So I took what was left on the brush and just rubbed it along where the snow is supposed to be, what will look like snow, and it just gives the most beautiful sparkle. So in removing the mask, I did not like that white edge around, so I tried to fill it in with the blending brush here. But as I'm blending the Cove Blue on, I notice I'm making dark blue splotches, and then I start to think that I'm ruining this card. So I put the mask back on, trying to go lower this time so that I could leave some of the white space that I was seeing and not liking, and this is working. Now I do it a couple more times on the left there. You can see that tree has a lot of white space. I do it over there, And this is working perfectly. I'm really getting the blue as close to those trees as possible, which is the look that I was going for. But in doing that, it covered up some of my white dots. So I just had to go again with my water pen brush and put those back on there. And now I have this beautiful background. I actually love how that blue turned out, the dark blue. Now I'm pulling a selection of animals that I have. This wolf was actually stamped on gray, dark gray cardstock. And so although it looks like a shadow here and black, it is black stamped on gray. Now I'm going in with the tree trunks and I'm using the color Sandcastle as the base. So these stamps are two-step stamps as well for the tree trunks. There's a base color and then there's a top detail color. And so Sandcastle is the base color and icing on the cake is the top detail color. And they are very easy to stamp, so I could just do that with my hand. Now I'm going in with a single tree from the Evergreen Wood stamp set. And I'm not grabbing the second layer that goes with this. I'm just using the same layer again, and I'm going in with an olive. And what I love about it is in the end, you will see that it pulls the green and yellow from the other trees in. It like ties them all together. And now it's time to start thinking about the sentiment. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure when Catherine Pooler released the sets Evergreen Woods and Winter Blessing Sentiments, that they were meant to go together. And the reason I say that is because a lot of these sentiments in here, they just fit so snugly right in between the trees. And this is a perfect example. Now I could have put my sentiment over to the left a little bit more, but it's fine. It looks absolutely beautiful. So I'm just stamping that in my precision press, doing it twice because my Memento ink pad needs re-inking. And oh, I just love the detail and how fine it is and just the classic look that it gives this card. Now I did cut off the sides and trimmed it down a little bit. So I needed to go and do the sides blue as well. To me, this is a classic stamp set. And when you have a classic stamp set, you don't need bling. It can carry itself all on its own. So what I wanted to do to add interest to this card was just use some foam tape to pop up the wolf and to pop up the tree. And so I'm just adding foam tape to the back of both of those, and it just adds a little bit of interest. And you can see there how that tree, because it's kind of a yellowish green, is really pulling the green and yellow of those trees out. It's just beautiful. And the yellow in the trees also complements that blue sky background perfectly. Now I'm pulling out my Barely Arts glue and I'm just going to adhere this whole front panel. Like I said, I've already trimmed it down. I trimmed it down to 4 by 5 1/4 and I'm putting that onto a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 side folding note card. And that is the card done, you guys. I just love how this looks. It's just a classic looking winter card. It could be Christmas, it could be winter, whatever. It could be for whatever you want it for. Anyways, I'm so glad that you joined me today. I do thank you for watching. If you like this content, please do like and subscribe to my channel. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on my blog at therockymountainCrafter.com. And all of these products are linked below. Take care. Bye-bye.